This storm has been going on an awful long time. I hope my son's having fun out there.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, so I was pretty shocked when I heard that we were getting chainsaws in Fortnite. Over the past 7 years, Fortnitemares has gone from giving us wholesome times like letting us trick or treat and giving us candy, to an island of people who'd all be considered psychopaths running around with a weapon that could literally tear someone apart. So today, we're going to see how dangerous Fortnitemares would be if it were real life. This is my wife, and this is my son, and I'm going through each Fortnitemares update to see how survivable it is for my family, ranking both the locations and the items on a tier list from 100% safe to I would actually shit myself and die. Ironically, this season is completely insane, so this is gonna be fun. But we are going in chronological order, so let's take a look at Fortnite's first Halloween. So back in 2017, at the time, this update was fire, and it might be one of the only ones that we could survive. We didn't get any POIs, what we did get was a pumpkin launcher. And I mean, come on now, the thing is iconic. Every Halloween season we look forward to them, and I'd like to say that they'd be fun to shoot at my friends, but I would not want one being shot at little Jason. And I don't think that they would kill you. Like, a pumpkin flying at you, I mean, it would hurt, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that it would kill you. Maybe you could break a bone or something, but I think you would survive. So we're gonna put this one under the would suck, but would survive category. And that leads us right into Fortnitemares 2018. We have new weapons, new items, changes to the map, and even zombies in the game. So we'll go over each feature one by one and rank them as we go. Starting off with the corrupted areas. Right off the bat, I can tell you that this place is not safe. This place is like hell. There's dead trees everywhere. There's these spiky things coming up out of the ground. There's literally zombies that are chasing you, throwing stuff at you, trying to kill you. God, this is awful. I would not let my family over here at all. This is too dirty for my wife. And there's also these things right here that, like, if you walk over them, they just send you flying. Like, what if little Jason is just trying to play? And wait a second. Where is Jason? And next up on our list is the 6-shooter. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's not very Halloween-y, and plus it's a pistol. But if you were to be encountered with this thing, depending on where you get hit, you could survive. Well, unless you're this guy. But it's not a guaranteed death. So we're going to put this in the quite dangerous category. Wow. And the last item of this Fortnitemares is the Fiend Hunter crossbow.
Fiend, 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 fiend.
Yeah, I can't use the original audio or else I'll get copyrighted. So I hope you enjoyed that. But let's talk about how survivable this thing is. I mean, it's pretty much your standard crossbow. I would say that the survival chances are pretty high. I mean, unless you get shot, like, you know, in your eye or something, it like travels to your brain. Sorry, a little bit disturbing. Yeah, I think it's pretty survivable, I'd say. I wouldn't say that it was safe, but I want to say that it's super deadly. Now that I'm thinking about it, you have like a pretty good chance of getting hit in any of your arteries and having some massive bleeding. But for the most part, I think it would survive. So I'm gonna give this one, it would suck, but would probably survive. And now we are off to Fortnite's next Halloween. I think I'm gonna let little Jason out while that thing's roaming around. No, if you weren't playing back then, this was actually on the map. Okay, you would drop at this little island that looked like the corrupted areas from last Halloween, and the Storm King would spawn in, and he was just this massive giant zombie demon guy. It was insane. He would spawn in and he'd have these attacks that blast lasers out of his mouth, and he could spawn tentacles from the ground. It was like insane. And you could kill him, but it would take like 6 million bullets, so it was not ideal. My wife or little Jason would not be going near this thing. Can you guess how we're gonna rank it? I would actually shit myself and die. Who wouldn't? Look at this damn thing. Let's move on. Now, aside from the Storm King, there wasn't much else in this Halloween update. We had the pumpkin launcher come back, and that was about it. We didn't have any new weapons or any other POIs, so let's jump right into Fortnitemares 2020. We have ghosts, we have new POIs, we have new weapons, we have old weapons coming back, we have witches, brooms, we have so much to unpack. And this is probably the most deadly one yet, so let's start off with the Ruined Agency. Now, it looks pretty dark and like grim, just a giant concrete building that's like all broken down. There's candles and scary things all around, but there's a lot of holes in the wall. It is a good building, like if you were to just stay in a room, you'd survive, but with a little kid running around, I just don't think it would be super safe. I mean, you got a bodyguard out here, which is pretty cool, but with all the holes in the walls and the drops off the tops and the sides of the buildings, it's not that safe. We're gonna have to give this one a quite dangerous ranking. Now, this is an honorable mention because I think it's just so cool. It's like these little witch huts that were all over the map. This is where you could come to get the broomsticks, and I think that they're awesome. Like, I would love to have one just sitting out in my backyard, and it's pretty safe. It looks scary, but survivable, 100%. Now we are off to the Boo Factory, and this is pretty much like that Halloween store that's like everywhere, Spirit Halloween, and it's really cool. It's really cool. Honestly, this is probably the safest building that we've seen yet. It's got a lot of cool decor, and it's got its own office space, a little kitchen area. It's quite nice. No holes in the wall like the Ruined Agency. It's a pretty nice building, and on top of it, it's like, imagine having that bus hanging from your ceiling. That's pretty cool. I also think little Jason will be able to have fun with little toys and stuff like that, so I think this would be great. And in terms of survivability, 100% safe. Next up on our list is the broomstick. It's magic, right? So as long as I know that my wife or my little Jason isn't just gonna fall off, I would say that it's pretty safe. I mean, it keeps you stable. Now, as cool as this looks and as fun as this looks, I just don't think it's too realistic. Obviously, it's just obviously you can't fly around on a broom. But if you were, I would have to say that it's not the safest thing in the world, and depending on how high you go, it would not be too survivable. As fun as this looks, imagining my son or my wife falling off a broom 60 feet in the air, I'm gonna have to say that this is quite dangerous. Now, moving on to something a little bit better. Candy. So Fortnite gave us these little candy baskets all over the map, and it was honestly really cool. It gave a really nice Halloween feel. It was little mints and candy corn and jelly beans, and you can eat them and they give you special powers. But you know, growing up, my parents always told me to always take candy from strangers, so I'm gonna have to say that this is 100% safe. And now for our biggest threat this Halloween. Ghosts! Yes, so when you died during this Halloween, you would come back as a ghost. Now, these ghosts haunted the entire map because you'd have to then be eliminated again, but you're actually super OP as a ghost. And I'm just saying right now, if my family was living on this island and it was being haunted by 100 ghosts, we're cooked. If I woke up one morning and I saw these things outside of my house, I would actually shit myself and die. So this is getting a bottom tier ranking for safety. Now we're on to Fortnitemares 2021, which was an absolute banger. This Halloween was so fun, but in terms of survivability, cooked. We are cooked this season. And we're starting off with these sideways. So the sideways was like an altered dimension that you could enter through like these giant bubbles, and when you went inside of them, they had like crazy eerie atmosphere, and zombies would literally spawn inside. There was dead trees and there was like fire, and it was scary. It was scary. I would not let my little Jason anywhere near this, or my wife. I mean, you know, there's these zombies that just spawn and they come to attack you. It's just very dangerous. Sometimes when the zombies died, it would let out this poisonous gas that would eat your lungs apart. But yeah, if I woke up here and my house was in one of these bubbles, I'm pooping my pants. It's gonna happen. Okay, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. You would too. So this is not safe at all. And next up, the sideways scythe. Now, I mean, I don't have to say much. I'm not gonna yap. This thing would tear apart anybody. Could you imagine having a little son and some guy with a giant tomato on his head just starts swinging a scythe at him? I don't even want to think about it, man. But no, in terms of survivability, we are cooked with this thing. Absolutely cooked. So this also will get a bottom tier ranking. Now we are off to Convergence. And honestly, this place is super sick. It reminds me a lot of like Geometry Dash. Like I like how vibrant it is, and it's like futuristic kind of. Like the place is just dope, and most of the floor is bouncy. It's like a giant trampoline park, bro. So in terms of survivalness, I'm like losing my mind, bro. Yeah, in terms of how safe it is, I'd say that it's pretty safe. As long as you don't like just run and jump off into the grass or something, you should be fine. But even then, all around the outside, it's not that high up, so even if you were to fall, you'd be okay. And if you fell anywhere on the middle, you'd just be bouncing. So I'm gonna rate this one as quite safe. And next up,
is that an invisible giant?
yes, the invisible giant, the caretaker. This guy is an absolute beast. He would start off invisible, and eventually he would like come into formation, and he would shoot these laser beams out and try and smack his fist down at you. And honestly, if I saw this in real life, I would be pretty scared. I'm gonna have to rate this one, well, I'd probably soil myself. Moving on, and this Fortnite Halloween is crazy. We have new mythics, new items, new POIs, new characters with some crazy physics. Did you see that? The Howler Claws, which were insane. Halloween is all throughout the map, and as crazy as this looks, it actually might be one of the safer ones. So let's start off with Grim Gables. Okay, so right off the bat, I see that the windows are boarded up, so at least we know that we're safe. But the house is pretty cool. Definitely the safest thing that we've seen so far in terms of like buildings or POIs. This one's definitely the safest. I mean, it's a whole house. Got a nice living room and basement. Got a nice bedroom. There's a whole upstairs, downstairs. There's some balconies, nice bathrooms. And honestly, this would be valid. Like IRL, I'm moving in. So I'll rate this one 100% safe. And now we are at the Reality Tree Disco, where the entire Reality Tree turned into like this disco park, and it was all chromed out, but there was a DJ there at the disco park, and you could go there to get the new mythic. And it was pretty cool, based on the fact that it's just a giant tree with speakers and music playing and a disco party. You know, I'd say it's pretty safe. The only way that you could really get hurt is if you like climbed up the tree and fell out, but you know Jason likes to get into some trouble. But overall, a disco party in a chrome punk treehouse, I'd say it's pretty safe. But what's not safe is the mythic there, the Howler Claws. And honestly, they were pretty cool, unless your mask got bugged out. But there's absolutely no chance of surviving these things. They just shred. They shred. Unfortunately, death is the only outcome with these. And now we're off to the next Fortnitemares, and this one was crazy. The pumpkin launcher is back. We got a new shotgun. We got a new way to get absolutely chopped up. It's pretty crazy. But first, we're gonna look at the wood stick shotgun. And honestly, this is in game now, and it is so bad that like I'm not even worried about it. I'm more scared of the 6-shooter pistol than I am of this thing. It does terrible damage, but it's still a shotgun. So we have to say that this is quite dangerous for sure. But that leads us on to the real threat.
Sword.
Like, bro, if I saw somebody dashing at me with this thing, you know what I'm gonna say, because you would do the same thing. You would do the same thing. I don't want to hear anybody in the comments talking about it. Okay, you would shit yourself too, bro. Someone's just flying at you with a samurai sword, or sorry, a vampire blade. Come on, no, it's crazy. So yeah, unfortunately, there's 0 chance of us making it out with this. I'm keeping me and my family locked up. But now we have to survive the scariest Halloween, Fortnitemares 2024. There's freaking chainsaws, bro. The pumpkin launcher is back. We got some spooky POIs. A freaking Billy from the Saw movies, man.
Do you want to play a game?
Surviving this would be a nightmare, literally. But let's get into it at Freaky Fields. Hello, Editor Gunzy here. I'd just like to say that I'm sorry. Now subscribe or I'll do it again. Alright, let's go. Honestly, Fortnite went crazy. W Fortnite. This place is sick. I like all the pumpkins around, and the crop field, and the barn, and the big silos. It all adds to the aesthetic, and it's really cool. In terms of surviving here, I think we'd be okay. As long as we don't look at our friend in the TV for too long, I think we're okay, right? Like, let's just not watch TV here, and we'd be okay. And a nice bedroom. I can't believe we've been carved.
I know. I tried to tell him 1,000,000 times to cut it out, but he just kept going.
Sorry. But yeah, this house is pretty cool. Nice bathroom, you know, bedroom. There's one bedroom though that we definitely can't stay in. Yeah, this one. It's really cool, but yo, look at the details that they put on here. It's so crazy. As long as this guy doesn't come out, we can survive here perfectly fine. It is spooky. There's a chance that some animals could roam around here, or the guy in the TV could come out. So I'm not gonna say that this is 100% safe, but I'm gonna say that it's up there. Next up, the Boom Billies. And well, it's a flying bomb. If I was taking little Jason out for a stroll and one of these things pulled up on us, it would be an unfortunate number 2. And now we're heading over to Brawler's Patch. This place is sick. Fortnite does such a good job of getting us in the Halloween spirit, you know? Yeah, considering that this guy's just launching pumpkins at us, that's not a great start. Plus, there's these giant vines that go everywhere, and it looks really cool. And, you know, I think little Jason would have fun on them, but with these massive spiky thorns, it's not looking too good. Yo, bro, chill. It's just not safe. I mean, you have a giant pumpkin guy launching pumpkins at you. There's vines everywhere, you know, animals could just break in these walls. As cool as it looks, I'm gonna have to say that this is quite dangerous. And that leaves us with one last item. The most gruesome thing that Fortnite has ever put into the game. The chainsaw. Chainsaw is absolutely insane. It's by far the most dangerous thing on this entire list. And I can't even think about it. Like, could you imagine little Jason is just trying to have fun and there's somebody with the... Wait a second. Well, that wraps it up. I had a lot of fun doing this. If we could get 300 likes on this video, I'll do all the POIs coming to the next map. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun. And until next time,